What is up, guys? Jordan here from Show Me Vegas with another episode of This Week in Vegas, the weekly vlog where we catch you up on what's been happening in the news in Las Vegas this past week. Hey, before we get into it, take just 1 second, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. That helps us grow. Also, feel free to comment on any of the articles in this week's episode or anything else Vegas related. I always love to chat with you guys in the comments, and it also helps our channel grow. So let's get into this week's episode of This Week in Vegas. Okay, first and foremost, the sale of the Venetian, Palazzo, and the Venetian Expo Center is complete. We touched on this last week when we discussed Apollo Global Management getting its gaming license. That's the entity that's buying the operating rights to the Venetian and Palazzo. Now, the real estate is actually being sold to a third party, Vici Properties Incorporated. This is another one of those deals where the real estate is being owned by one company and it's being leased to another company to operate it, much like MGM Resorts is doing with most of their properties. Vici Properties paid $4 billion for the real estate and will lease it to Apollo Global Management, who also paid $2.25 billion for the operating rights. So in total, the Las Vegas Sands Corporation came away with $6.25 billion in this deal. The team will remain the same at the Venetian and Palazzo, and all 8,000 employees will retain their jobs. CEO George Markantanis said that Grazie, the casino loyalty program, will remain in place, and that the property will enhance its food and beverage program, which, to be honest, is pretty good to begin with. Now, in case you're wondering about that unfinished tower at the Venetian, yeah, this one. The CEO says it's still a work in progress, so they haven't completely given up on that. That tower was supposed to be a condo development originally, but it's been stalled for ages. Apollo supposedly has not decided what they'll do with it yet, but that further development is not completely out of the question. If you've been by Caesars Palace any time in the last few months, you've no doubt been inconvenienced by the construction walls. Caesars has been revamping completely its entrance at the main valet, also some of the front of the gaming area. That construction has been ongoing for quite some time, and they just unveiled the new entrance this past week. Here are some pictures of that, courtesy of the Las Vegas Review-Journal. They're not completely done just yet. A refresh of the gaming areas just inside the main entrance is ongoing, so not all of the construction walls are down just yet. I don't see this as just a huge upgrade. I've never been a fan of the Roman theme, but I get it. But I just don't see it as that much different. They spent a lot of time and a lot of money on this. Now, that's not all that's changing at Caesars Palace. They started a refresh of the boutique Nobu Hotel inside the property in October. So Nobu comprises just 182 of the property's rooms overall, but those are being completely refreshed. Finally, regarding Caesars, there is a lot of speculation that Caesars Palace is about to build a new hotel tower on the property. Now, this is all just speculation at this point, but the rumors are that the southeast corner of the property is the obvious spot, with quite a bit of undeveloped land to be found there. This would, of course, displace Absinthe, which performs out of a permanent tent on that spot. However, sources are speculating that the new tower would include entertainment space, so presumably that could serve as the new home for Absinthe. Now, that's not all Caesars has been in the news for this past week. Caesars Entertainment, the parent company of Caesars Palace, came out with its earnings release this week, and they were just about as bad as I expected them to be. For the fourth quarter 2021, Caesars Entertainment lost $434 million on revenues of $2.6 billion. Revenue from the same period in 2020 was up 63%, but they still lost a boatload of money. Last year in the fourth quarter, they lost $555 million, so they're still not anywhere close to getting back to profitability. All right, also happening this week, we got a little bit more information on what Bally's Corporation intends to do with the Tropicana. No specifics, but we did get a bit of a timeline for when they might release what they plan to do with the property. But Bally's Corporation CEO Lee Fenton did say that the company is in advanced discussion with development partners on developing the Tropicana site. He did say that they expect to be in a position to communicate their partners and their plans by a half year ahead. It's kind of a strange way to put it, but he means by middle of 2022. Now, we've talked a lot about the Tropicana on this vlog, mostly related to the Oakland Athletics and their interest in that site, possibly building a ballpark there. I no longer think that's likely to happen. I no longer think the Oakland Athletics are going to become the Las Vegas Athletics. I think that they've been toying with the city of Las Vegas all along, trying to use it as a pawn in their scheme to get what they want out of the city of Oakland. Now, that's just business, and I understand it. It's not necessarily bad business. They are making progress in possibly getting their new ballpark in Oakland approved. Now, they have put term sheets together for 4 different pieces of real estate in Las Vegas for a potential ballpark, and this Tropicana site is one of those. I just don't see that happening at this point. I think they're going to wind up staying in Oakland after all. There's a new Cirque du Soleil production coming to the Strip at New York, New York, and it's called Mad Apple. This is going to be New York themed, and it's going to be a variety act with comedians, magicians, acrobatics, a band even. There's even going to be a bar built into the stage where you can get your cocktails pre-show. Looks really neat. That's expected to open at the end of May. Finally, this week in Las Vegas, the jackpots just keep on coming, and they seem to be happening more and more at table games. We've talked about this in the past. A lot of times they're slot jackpots. This time we've got 3 large table game jackpots and 1 slot jackpot to boot. This guy from St. Paul, Minnesota won more than $145,000 at a mega jackpot 3-card poker table at the Link. He says he's going to use that money to pay his taxes. I don't know if he's got some back taxes or what. 2 table games jackpots were hit at Caesar's Palace. The first one was Kyle Johnson from Eagle Mountain, Utah. He hit a jackpot of $779,148. That's crazy. He said he's going to celebrate by treating his friends to dinner and plans to pay off his house with the winnings. Earlier that same day, Philip Mitchell of Peabody, Massachusetts won over $117,000. He was staying at Caesar's for his birthday, and he says he plans to use the winnings to pay for the weddings of his 2 daughters this summer. And then downtown at the Fremont Hotel and Casino, an anonymous player playing Wheel of Fortune slots. They wanted to remain anonymous. This cracks me up. If you want to be anonymous, I guess, there at the Fremont Hotel and Casino, you still get a big check. You just hold it up in front of your face when they take your picture. I don't know if that's going to work when she goes to take that big check to the bank. All right, maybe those big checks aren't actually real, despite what the movies might tell us. Now, I always like reading about these jackpots because if the person is not anonymous, they always talk about what they plan to do with the money. It's always fun. Comment down below what you would do if you hit a 6-figure jackpot in Vegas. What would you do that day, and then what would you do with the money when you got back home? Hey, that's it for this episode of This Week in Vegas. Thanks for watching, guys, as always. Once again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, turn on your notifications so you don't miss this vlog or any of our other content. Hey, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.